venue. Sort of a bit of stillwater fishing. I've been really hitting the rivers lately, so I thought I'd come out and try somewhere new, a bit of stillwater fishing. This is a little farm pond out in I think we're in Bedfordshire, but we might be in Hertfordshire. I've come out on my bike, bit of a schlep, bit further than I've gone so far since I've been living up here. But it was a nice, pleasant cycle actually. Sort of through some back lanes that were really quiet, so that was really nice. It's a 10 quid day ticket. No idea what's in there. A few people told me it's just full of carp, and a few other people have said that it's actually really well stocked with tench, rudd, and roach. So I'm going to fish 2 rods today. I'm going to fish 1 feeder, which I'll talk to you more about there. That's actually an AliExpress. It looks a bit sort of marine, sort of sea fishing with the orange whipping on the eyes there. Bright orange whipping cord they've used, but it's for 13 quid. It's a really smart 10-foot feeder rod with 3 tips. But I'll show you some more about that later. You know, it's not promoted post or anything like that. And then I'm just going to fish a float rod. I'm not fishing the pin this week, just a normal fixed spool. Got some maggots, got some sweet corn, and got some bread, so we'll see what we can get out. But yeah, so far no one else is here either. I've got the entire pond to myself, and there are about 8 swims all the way around, so fingers crossed we can have a bit of a good day. And it's been really, really mild. It's so mild yesterday, mild again today. I've cycled here and I've taken loads of layers off, which is why you can just see I'm wearing a hoodie at the moment, because I was baking when I got here. But yeah, fingers crossed we get a few fish for you. I don't believe it. Hang on. There you go, guys, a tiny little roach. I didn't actually think I was going to get anything today. I haven't had hasn't been a fish move, hasn't been a bite or anything. I was so shocked when the float went under. Didn't know what was happening. Brilliant, well happy with that. It's blank saver, done it. And another tiny one as the drizzle comes down. Oh, that's a bit better. Just do away with this brolly. Much better roach there, guys. Not a whopper by any means, but absolutely brilliant. And to be honest, in this weather and this sort of wintry conditions, I'll take anything I can get at the moment, so I'm well happy with him. Beautiful orange eye on him as well, lovely. Well, I tried 2 maggots there in the hopes of tempting a bigger fish, but no such luck. Another one there. Lovely little roach there. Always the way, isn't it, when you've got a cup of tea on the go, but I'll take him. Well, I'll just give you a quick rundown on the on that feeder rod I was using. It's the Sugayalang, or however you pronounce that. I've had a bait caster often before. It's one of these brands from China. This was 13 quid. It's a 9 and a bit foot feeder rod. I think it's 5 or 6 piece, and it's about 45 centimeters. What's that? About 55 centimeters packed down, which is ideal. It goes in the backpack and can be zipped up. But let's have a look at some of the components of it. Well, that's it. They're out the bag. You can see there it's 6 pieces, including the tip. You get 3 tips, and they come in an all right tube. So you get the sort of imitation cork handle there, and then you get proper cork handle. The eyes are whipped on with like a really bright fluorescent orange whipping cord. I don't know what the idea of that is. I suppose just an aesthetic thing. it's striking when you've got it together, that's for sure. I think if people are going to notice it, when you're out on the bank with it. It comes with the 3 tips there. The orange one's the heaviest, then you've got the medium yellow, and the lightest is the green. But even the heaviest is not that heavy. You're not going to be using really heavy weights or feeders on this, although it casted well. It's not the lightest thing in the world, I suppose, because it's a travel rod. They're a little bit tougher where you've got the joints, I suppose, because it's not going to be as light all the way through. It's where they join together. But I mean, for 13 quid, you can't go wrong, really. It's better quality than some of the sort of the cheaper entry level brands that you might have heard of. I'm not going to start naming brands and saying what's poor quality, but you'll be able to tell, something that hasn't got whipped on eyes, for instance, is sort of glued on and lacquered over, stuff like that. You're not getting necessarily the quality. I guess that's the nature of the world we live in now. Labour in other countries is miles cheaper than it is over here, so you can get quality stuff for quite little money. And if they're making these in huge quantities and selling them all around the world, as they do on AliExpress and Joom and Wish, they sell all over the world now, then they can afford to do it and get them out there. And for 13 quid delivered, it came in like a sort of a rigid inflatable packing container. It's amazing, really. I've not had a fish on it yet, so we'll see how that fares. But I just thought I'd give you a little rundown on it. And for 13 quid, it's got to be worth a look at it. And I mean, I can shove this in my backpack and I'm away, no faffing about. And I haven't even got to put it on the crossbar on my bike. So yeah, for that, it's got a big plus point. But I'm out this weekend and I'll try and actually get a fish on it and let you know how I get on. Well, guys, that was a bit of a session yesterday. I didn't film an outro or anything. I only had a few small roach, so I thought it's not really worth finishing up the video. So because it's winter and I'm struggling to sort of get footage of me catching fish week in, week out, I thought I'd make this a bit of a sort of a weekend vlog. So I've come out, I'm now down in the deepest, darkest south of Hertfordshire, not far from London, to be honest. And this is the River Mimram behind me. Never fished it before. So I know it's a tributary of the River Lee. It flows sort of out of sort of Hertfordshire and flows into the River Lee at Hertford. I'm a few miles out from there. I had a look on Google Street View, not Google Street View, satellite imagery or aerial photography on Google. Followed it to a few spots where there were some roads nearby. I've come out on my bike. There's a cat over there chasing something. Come out on my bike, and I've just come out the back of like a little residential close and found it. So yeah, and there's a little path along it. It looks like there's a few accessible points, but it's rained non-stop yesterday. It's rained all morning. There's a few hours clear where it's supposed to be only a 50% chance of rain, so I thought I'd get out. I'm going to have a little look along a few stretches of the Mimram. I'll show you any sort of features or anything that I sort of see that I might consider fishing, and then I've only bought lure fishing stuff for me today because all my stuff from yesterday was still soaking wet, so it's all in the garage hanging up drying. So then I'm going to go cycling to Hertford and have a go on the Lee navigation with the lures for a couple of hours before sunset. So fingers crossed I might get a couple more fish for you. Well, I'm back. I've come away from the river a bit, then come back to it. I'm now at the back end of Hertford, or sort of the edge of it, kind of like I couldn't get to the river in a lot of places because it's all just in private farmland, but there appears to be sort of a bit of a stretch along here. I just dropped my bike. But you'll notice I'm just kind of filming because there's some steps down, and that's a swimming platform there. There's like ladders to get on and off, and maybe a place where you can launch kayaks and canoes. So it's these are the sort of things worth noting if you do come out and have a recce. Don't be surprised if you do end up fishing and get interrupted by open water swimmers and kayaks and canoes, which does seem to happen to me quite often. But I suppose that's kind of the risk of fishing in urban areas. But yeah, I found a few spots. The banks are really steep and inaccessible. You can obviously, there's stairs cut in there, but it's going to be a winter fishing place. In the summer it'll just be too overgrown to get anywhere. You can see where all the brambles and stinging nettles have died back. So from now until the start of the season there might be a few accessible points. So if somewhere's overgrown in the summer, don't overlook it as somewhere that ain't worth fishing, because if you go back there in the winter, quite often you'll be amazed at how much more accessible the banks are. Although on a day like this when it's wet, go with someone, because if you end up in the drink slipping down the bank, you know, you get yourself in all sorts of mischief. So at least tell someone where you're going if you are out and about, especially places where no one's going to hear you shouting for help. Anyway, I'm going to crack on into Hertford and have a go at some lure fishing now, I think. Well, no fish on the lures. I'm on my way back now. Still checking spots as I go, just sort of locations and whatnot. I mean, it's probably a good day to do it, because I mean, I've looked at this river before, sort of just cycling over it at bridges and that, and normally it's about 3 foot lower than it is now. So just goes to show, you know, just a sort of a day's worth of rain, and you know, 24 hours, that's drained straight out of the catchment, the river catchment, and into the river itself. So obviously flooding all the way down to the Thames at Canning Town, that will come out. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed that. Hopefully you've seen a bit behind the scenes, what I get up to, you know, when I'm not fishing. Shame I didn't get anything on the lures. I do try, and I just haven't had much luck. There's not many places near where I live that allow lure fishing, and the places that you know, I haven't actually caught anything. So yeah, I need to find a few new places. Some of the little chalk streams I fish might be all right for some of the little micro spinners, but at the moment that'd be targeting trout, and it's out of season, so can't be doing that until the spring. So yeah, anyway, hopefully that's been enjoyable for you and giving you a bit of an insight into some of my shenanigans, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Cheers guys, fish on.